And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Could the crypto world be crumbling? This weekend was rough for the market. Bitcoin took a major hit. Prices have dipped more than 50% below its record high from last year. Now, our next guest explains why the hell that corner of the market has been tumbling.
Well, Dietrich, let me be the first to say no one quite understood NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and now they're tanking and people are losing a ton of money. So first of all, explain to us exactly what it is and why so many people are losing their shirts over this.
Essentially, this is something stored on the blockchain. So it's something that provides a certificate of authenticity for a photo or digital file, movie, or anything that says this is original. So the same sort of authenticity that you'd expect from buying sports memorabilia or similar items where you couldn't tell a hat from any other hat, particularly a knockoff, but because of that certificate of authenticity, that means that this purse is of this brand or this baseball cap is of this type, baseball, etc. And so this is all stored on the blockchain, and this relates a lot to some of the interest in and discussion around concepts such as Ethereum and Bitcoin and a lot of those buzzwords.
And for those who never really grasp it, and then there are those who did and they're losing money now, tell us about that.
This is a very speculative market, even more so than a lot of our other investments, which are all speculative, because the subjective value of things such as art, and we all know the Supreme Court's statement of obscenity, we don't know it until we see it. And so people were really gearing up, even raising the value of this marketplace from 82 million to more than several billion, 21,000% increase from 2020 to 2021. And so people were really excited about this new marketplace. I won't say that some people use the art market and other areas of subjective value for money laundering and other tools, but it does happen where people get excited about the different ways that this can express sort of that avant-garde understanding of new resources and potential speculative investment. And so one of the things where people are risk averse is with this Ukraine conflict. It's just one more thing. When we had the winter freeze, we saw crop values increase. When we had COVID, we saw a number of products and manufacturing goods, the value increased. And so we were really thinking we were out of the woods and people were ready to come back to this bull market, and we're looking at a bear. Inflation, various conflicts throughout the world, uncertainty, it really makes people hesitant to move into risky markets. And so a lot of people are going to be gravitating back to gold and some of those tried and true investments where we know there are multiple applications for those tools, whether it be in technology, jewelry, or other purposes.
So bottom line, back to the basics.
Right, it's get back to gold.
There you go. Now, the Biden administration is trying to make internet affordable for millions of Americans. What's the latest on that? And what is the deal looking like price-wise for the average American with this internet that the Biden administration is providing?
Well, the goal is to provide more than 40 million Americans with high-speed internet access. Particularly with COVID, we realized the need for rural Americans to be able to remotely go to doctor visits, to engage in school and work activities, and there were people who were left out. So if you're going to do a lockdown and people can't go to work, what do we do about food? And we've seen riots in places like China when these sorts of measures are enacted, but there isn't an alternative or another venue or avenue to go to work, earn a living, go to school, etc. So this $14 billion is way less than the $65 billion we were looking at in November, but it should allow $30 packages for most people. And some people, if you use an approved provider that has an agreement with the government, it'll be fully subsidized to really make sure that people are connected to their communities.
And how soon will this internet service be available? And for those who would like to sign up, if you sign up, how do you get it?
Well, usually you'd go through any sort of government website. So there are a number of different portals. If you go to whitehouse.gov, you can learn about the programs and plans that are going to be fully subsidized versus those that are going to be partially subsidized. You can learn about the providers, Comcast, et cetera, who are going to be providing these services. And it'll give you hyperlinks to one of the funny things about this we talked about last year is Department of Agriculture is one of the lead agencies on this. So there are a number of different agencies coming together to bring this technology to bear. And so any of these websites, whitehouse.gov, can help you move that forward. And once you do that, you'll be able to access it probably within the next month and a half.
All righty. So best thing is try one of the government websites or Google government internet, but you have to be careful because there are a lot of scam artists out there. Make
Absolutely.
sure you go to an official.
They're not going to call you. If they call you about it, they're not legit.
All right, Dr. Dietrich Von Biedenfeld, thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored, and always good to have you with your expertise.
Thank you, sir.